After the first set of matches in the group stages of the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup, all eyes were on the Super Falcons of Nigeria with their tactical and disciplined display in a 3-2 victory over hosts Australia and draws against Canada and Ireland. They, however, unfortunately lost in the round of 16 to England in a game which they played better and created better chances. Where did they get it wrong? Also, looking at the upsets in the tournament from the first round of matches, how did the gap narrow all of a sudden between the traditional superpowers and the other nations? Let's get into it. The present World Cup has been one of the most open in years, with traditional powerhouses like the USA struggling to qualify and top 10 teams like Brazil and Germany going out at the group stage. Coupled with this, Africa has produced 3 second-round teams who have pulled some amazing upsets, like South Africa qualifying ahead of Italy and Morocco ahead of Germany, who beat them 6-0 in the first match. CONCACAF produced only one team going through to the second round, and it is the team from Jamaica who qualified ahead of Brazil. However, it is now evident that the gap has closed between the top and lower soccer nations in the women's game. So how did the gap between the top and lower teams in women's football narrow all of a sudden? First of all, it was gradual, as players from many countries in the lower tier of women's football gradually gained more opportunities in top leagues, and due to greater recognition and funding for women's football in those countries. Most importantly, since 2016, FIFA has been making funds available to each member association in order to assist women's football through the FIFA Forward program. Many less developed countries were hence able to hire better coaches and better fund women's soccer leading up to this World Cup. With Nigeria's performance against England losing out narrowly to them in the round of 16, it is now obvious the traditional powerhouses have to up their game leading up to future World Cups, as it's no longer business as usual. This World Cup saw the emergence of a new breed Super Falcons that showed a level of technical discipline missing from teams of the past. The Super Falcons have consistently been at a higher level than the rest of the African continent until recently, when the gap between it and other African teams narrowed to further confirm that the improvement of national teams in the women's game is global. At the Nations Cup in 2022, Nigeria suffered the loss of star striker Asisat Oshoala in the very first match, which was a big handicap as they prosecuted the rest of the matches without her. They eventually lost to host Morocco in the semi-finals, where they created more chances despite playing 2 women down through most of the match. At the Nations Cup, the Super Falcons also had to deal with the perennial problem of negligence of the team by the Nigerian FA. The coach Randy Waldrum was unpaid for months prior to the tournament, and the players were being owed years of player allowances from previous matches. It would be logical to assume that Randy Waldrum probably wasn't giving his best as coach prior and during the tournament. It may sound like an excuse for Randy Waldrum and his team, but it can be remembered that the same thing happened to Super Eagles coach Gernot Rohr before he was fired for poor results. See a pattern here? It is ludicrous for a football FA to treat coaches and players the way they do and expect them to perform at the highest level. Fortunately, the tide seems to be swinging in the favor of players, with FIFA now deciding to pay tournament bonuses directly into the account of players. This is partly due to the publicity around the negligence of the Nigerian team by the FA prior to the 2023 World Cup. It should be noted that before the World Cup, Randy Waldrum had already indicated his desire to quit after the tournament, and it could be assumed that the renewed vigor and effort he put into preparing the team for the World Cup may have been intended to make him desirable as a coach to other countries after the World Cup, if the situation with Nigeria does not improve. At this tournament, Randy Waldrum proved he is a capable coach with the display of the Super Falcons. Despite a few questionable calls in the England match, his strategy was on point for most of the tournament, as the team used its strengths to its advantage. In the match against England, however, he probably shouldn't have taken out Eugena when he did, because she was the most dangerous player in attack for the Super Falcons on the night. If she was on the pitch with the one-woman advantage in the second half, maybe the outcome could have been different. Judging from the way the shootout played out, it seems reasonable to assume that they didn't prepare for the eventuality of penalty shootouts. With the loss of the first penalty by England, one of the better finishers in the team should have taken the first penalty for the Super Falcons to ensure the advantage and calm the nerves of subsequent penalty takers. Consequently, either Chiamaka Nadozi, Oshawala, Ajibade, or Plumtree should have taken the penalty. Also, Alozie did well on the right side of defense on the night, But there was no basis for her even taking a penalty, as her miss in the second half, where she was direct at goal on the left side, showed obvious lack of confidence shooting at goal. Anyway, hindsight is 2020. The journey to the 2023 World Cup saw the introduction of many new players to the Super Falcons team. Players like Asisat Oshoala, Rasheedat Ajibade, and Chiamaka Nadozi have garnered international acclaim and carved their names in the global football scene. New imports from the US League like Toni Payne, Ifeoma Onumonu, and Michelle Alozie were introduced, bringing added skill, agility, and passion to the team, with the added benefit that they grew up and developed in the US youth system, and a good number of them played for the USA youth teams. At the 2023 Women's World Cup, the Super Falcons' relative success was orchestrated by some exceptional individuals who brought their unique set of skills and qualities to the pitch. The following were the key players for the Super Falcons at the tournament, as well as an assessment of their impact and whether they lived up to expectations. Asisat Oshoala. A name that needs no introduction, Asisat Oshoala is the Super Falcons' star striker and 5-time African Footballer of the Year. Oshawala's lightning speed, precise dribbling, and clinical finishing make her a formidable force on the field. Having plied her trade in top leagues like the English Women's Super League and now Spain with Barcelona FC, a lot was expected of her at the 2023 World Cup. Her performance against Ireland at the group stage and against England in the round of 16 was, however, lackluster, as she missed some clear chances to score. Her only worthy performance was against Australia, where she took advantage of a fortuitous time of confusion in the Australian defense to score a well-taken goal at a tight angle. For a while, Oshawala's commitment and performances for the Super Falcons has been suspect. At the 2023 tournament, she has not looked very fit, and it may be that her bit-part role in Barcelona, coming in mostly as a substitute coupled with injuries and issues with the Nigerian FA, may have affected her fitness, morale, and consequent impact in the 2023 World Cup. Rasheedat Ajibade. At just 23 years old, Rasheedat Ajibade has already established herself as a key playmaker for the Super Falcons. Playing in the left of midfield, Ajibade possesses exceptional vision, passing accuracy, and technical finesse. Her ability to control the tempo of the game and deliver precise through balls to forwards makes her an asset to the team's attacking prowess. Ajibade's creativity on the pitch can unlock even the most stubborn defenses, making her an indispensable presence for Nigeria. At the 2023 World Cup, she shone brightly as a constant threat on the left side of attack and provided the assist for the second goal against Australia. She probably was the most exciting player to watch in the Super Falcons throughout their time in the tournament. Chiamaka Nadozi. In soccer, a solid backline is the backbone of any successful team, especially the lieutenant between the goalposts, and the Super Falcons had a dependable goal stopper in keeper Chiamaka Nadozi. Nadozi's ability to make crucial saves, especially in high-pressure situations, was a game-changer for Nigeria's World Cup ambitions. In the matches at the 2023 World Cup, she proved how valuable she was to the team, catching, punching, and deflecting everything thrown at the goal. Her penalty save against Canada in the first match was a significant highlight in the group stages, as it allowed Nigeria get its first point, boosting its confidence going into subsequent matches. Unfortunately, in the penalty shootout against England, she wasn't able to save any penalty or affect the result of the match, which takes nothing away from her performance in the tournament. Eugena Kanu. As a prolific forward, Eugena has earned a reputation as a goal-scoring machine and is a driving force for the Nigerian national team on the left or right side of attack. With her exceptional skill, speed, and determination, she was an integral part of the Super Falcons' quest for glory at the 2023 World Cup with her displays. Though she has played a bit-part role in the Super Falcons since Randy became coach, she has consistently shown that she can be relied on to deliver when called upon. In the matches in which she featured, she brought urgency to the attack and displayed her evident skill going forward. Her threat in front of goal was made clear for all to see by putting one in the onion bag against Australia. In the match against England, she was a constant threat on the right for the period she was on the pitch. At a key point in the pitch, she had a solo run cutting in from the right to the middle, beating at least 3 players before taking a shot, which would have been one of the best goals of the tournament if it went in. Toni Payne. Toni Payne has been the driving force for the resurgent Super Falcons with her displays in midfield. Her dribbling skills and energy in the midfield have been a delight to watch, and her passes up front have been timely. Her impact on the pitch is evident as she effortlessly glides past defenders, creates scoring opportunities, and contributes to the team's overall attacking prowess. Her pass led to the only goal by Asisat Oshoala at the World Cup. Though not the most imposing midfielder, her skill and determination ensures she doesn't get bullied on the field. She definitely has the potential to do even more by the next World Cup as the team continues to build more chemistry. Ashleigh Plumptre. Ashleigh stands out glaringly on the pitch when she plays for the Super Falcons because of her skin color, and is seen regularly on social media displaying dancing skills to Nigerian music to the admiration of her Nigerian fans. However, take nothing from the Leicester City defender, as besides her seeming occasional frailty in defense, she, however, has good positioning and displays obvious tactical intelligence on the field. She has a keen eye and ability for delivering timely passes up front when needed, and is usually a threat for defenses on the left flank when she goes up front to support the attack on the left side of the field. She didn't put a foot wrong in the match against England and showed she also has the ability to put in a good shot at goal. If either of her shots had gone in against England, either goal may have been in contention for goal of the tournament. Her vision, passing, and shooting skills suggest that she may also be an option for the Super Falcons in the defensive midfield position. This will allow her the opportunity to direct those killer passes of hers towards the attackers. Halimatu Ayinde. Halimatu Ayinde missed the first match of the 2023 World Cup due to a suspension received at the African Nations Cup. Coming in subsequently to replace Deborah Abiodun, who got a red card in the first match, she showed her experience efficiently providing cover in midfield in front of defense. She was a constant thorn in the flesh for opposing attacks, especially in the match against England, where she practically rendered Lauren James ineffective in the match. Deborah Abiodun, who graduated from the under-20 team, did a wonderful job in the first match despite her red card, showing that despite her age, she is a good replacement in the defensive midfield position for the Super Falcons when needed. When Ayinde came in after her suspension had been completed, she ensured Abiodun was not missed as she showed her experience and solidified her status as the #1 defensive midfielder for the Super Falcons at the moment. Osinachi Ohale. Osinachi Ohale is the second most experienced defender in the team after veteran Onome Ebi. Ohale has been to 5 African Nations Cup tournaments, winning the tournament in 4 of them. At the 2023 World Cup, Osinachi was like the Rock of Gibraltar in central defense for the Super Falcons. She showed her experience providing timely tackles throughout Nigeria's time in the tournament. In the match against Australia, Ohale was solid in defense as usual, but went ahead to score the second goal of the match for Nigeria with a well-timed run and header. She was voted player of the match to crown her amazing performance on the night. Apart from the above-mentioned players, the whole team was outstanding for the Super Falcons. The performance of Christy Ucheibe and Toni Payne in midfield was commendable. However, this is one area that needs a little bit of improvement. The midfield has to learn to connect better with the attack and better utilize the runs of Asisat Oshoala in attack. The coach must look for the right strategy to make Oshawala more effective, or look beyond her as a solution. It is possible that Oshawala's injuries and maybe age might be starting to take its toll, as her finishing is not as consistent as it was in the past. Ifeoma Onumonu is good at pressing opposing defenses, but her finishing is a bit suspect. In the quest to create more options for the Super Falcons, it is comforting to hear that Randy Waldrum recognizes this with his recent statement. He mentioned in a recent press statement that he is in contact with new potentials in the diaspora who have indicated their willingness to play for the Super Falcons. It may be a good idea to keep him on and sort out the administrative issues that prevented him from giving his best leading up to the tournament. He definitely must be commended for the performance of the Falcons at this tournament, as the team has made believers of those who doubted they could do well at the 2023 World Cup. As the tournament proceeds without them, the Super Falcons have etched their names in the hearts of football lovers worldwide with their performances against teams like Australia, Canada, and England. One thing is for sure, the team is definitely much better than their 40th place ranking, which ideally FIFA should update after the World Cup. Their exploits at this World Cup will continue to unite a nation and inspire a generation of young girls to dream big and never give up on their aspirations. We have seen enough to hope that by the next World Cup, with continuous improvement, it should be realistic to imagine them being one of the top contenders to lift the trophy. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Also, please leave a comment and let us know what you think about our summation and whether you think the Super Falcons stand a good chance of winning the next World Cup. See you in the next video.